start streaming. Alright, we are good there. We are live on Twitch. We are live to YouTube. Alright. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to week 5 of season 10 of League 1. Doubleheader Washington State at Arizona, followed by Illinois at Penn State. Take a quick look at Arizona before we kick off. Yeah, young sophomore impact player quarterback. He's good, but he's a sophomore. Fast halfback, especially for his size at 213 pounds. .82. They do have a fullback. Not all schools have a fullback. Great receiver, but it goes downhill pretty fast from there. Almost 100 yards a game. Question is does Mitchell contribute? No. No. And no, it's pretty much, it's Edwards. It's Edwards and Butler and probably the tight end. 40 yards a game. Second receiver, tight end is their second receiver. But that's a weakness at left tackle. Not helped by the left guard. Center is great. Yeah, good. And okay, so the right side of the line's better than the left, but overall, not a great offensive line. Yeah, they do run a 3-man front, despite the fact that they've got they could run a 4-man with that second D tackle. Yes. .84 left outside. Not bad at middle linebacker, especially considering pass. Not amazing, but pretty good. Corners are a weakness. Freshman, sophomore, freshman. Yeah, there's a very low awareness. And a poor free safety and a poor strong safety. So that is a yeah. Like, he'd be okay if the rest of them were where he was or better. Yeah, you could mask him, but when he's the best guy in your secondary, that's a vulnerability. Yeah.
And they have a decent linebacker core, a decent front. So guess what we're going to do a lot of today?
You're going to pass long. We're going to see a lot of 8 to 40-yard passes. That's the last thing that I need to... Doot. One of the longer road trips for Washington State to Tucson, Arizona. Arizona, clearly, a solid running team, but not great at really anything else there. Coach says they're trying to keep their defense off the field, and he's definitely right about that with the glaring weaknesses they have at the secondary. Copper helmets and a funky jersey from Arizona this week.
Innovation that excites. The Cougars look like a team you'd expect to be a #1 team in the country. Very good at every position, but it's still early in the season. Doesn't mean they're a finished product at this point. Got to get an impressive win to maintain that top spot. Thanks for checking out the pregame show. NCAA college football action coming up next with Brad and Kirk on the call. David and I will see you at halftime.
We're about 60 miles north of the Mexican border in Tucson, Arizona, the site for today's game. And now let's head down to the coin toss. Brought to you by Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste and 0 calories. Enjoy everything.
An interesting and atypical decision there from Coach Spectre of Washington State. Usually goes for the kick so that he receives in the second half, but went for the early receive this time. As he takes it out of the backfield with Jack London. Takes it out of the end zone, I'm sorry. Gets the 14-yard line.
Avoids the mistakes, and when you can do that as a quarterback and as a leader of an offense, you're going to move the football down the field.
Now the offense gets ready to take their first crack at it. They come out in a 5-wide set. He's got it with room to run. Out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Washington State's got a guy that's statistically...
Great vision there to, rather than go upfield, get behind the blocker and ensure that it's 2nd and inches as opposed to 2nd and 4. Save the hit as well.
Second down and short. All on the 23-yard line. The 25. Short gain there by the tailback, and he's still going to come away with a first down.
Well, the defense did a pretty good job there and didn't give him much room. Unfortunately for them, there was just enough space to eke out 2 yards he needed for the first down.
And a great opportunity from Washington State. Despite the fact that Pauly Shore only got 2 yards on that run, it got a first down. So Arizona's going to have to be respecting the run, which gives more opportunity to the passing game.
Second and 5. All on the 29-yard line. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. Now he's scrambling. Here they come.
As you can see, Arizona traditionally a 3-man front team, typically with a 3-3-5. We're seeing it to be a bit offset, I believe, to the left. Rather than stacked up right behind the linemen, but as we know, that's a that's actually not a great decision for them based on their personnel, because their second D tackle is quite good and their linebackers are okay. But if you're doing 3-3-5, you're sacrificing, and this is clearly a 3-3-5 as you see the box of 6. In a 3-3-5, which is what Penn State's running for this explicit reason, Arizona is sacrificing an 86 D tackle to put a 73, a second strong safety on the field, which is a poor decision as opposed to what I'm doing with Penn State. I'm taking a 73 off the field and putting a 91 on the field. So this is one of the weaknesses that AI has in this game. They can't change. The playbooks are associated with the coaches. Ooh, as that is a fantastic lob, practically the Paris gun there, firing something a shell the size of a deuce and a half, as they say. Yeah, I think we got something for that. Because that, of course, was a big play by none other than
Vincent Vega, our man in Amsterdam.
And that, of course, reminds me that I need to adjust the volume on my PC to make sure that everything sounds right coming out of Twitch. Sorry for the volume change. As Washington State hits Alan Rickman on the angle route for 4.
And they attacked. The quarterback should have found somebody else downfield.
Here's the 8th play of the series. A quarterback in the gun with 5 receivers. Scrambling around. He's got to throw it in a hurry. He's out of bounds at the 15.
Runs for short yardage rather than risking the coverage. Now, of course, trying to recover Vincent Vega, who's had 2 long scrambles in the past. Not 2 consecutive plays, but 2 recent plays. This last play and not the play before it, but the play before that.
They come out in an empty backfield. The play clock's at 0-0. They just took too long.
On the one hand, takes a 5-yard penalty. On the other hand, gets a free timeout. As we can see, we've seen before, Vincent Vega entirely capable of getting 10 yards on the ground or in the air. Coach saying that he did not like the look on defense as he continues to spend time picking a play. And once again gets a delay of game for the 2nd time in a row.
They'll line up for another 3rd down play because of the penalty.
Well, here you're in a 3rd down situation, and then someone makes a mental mistake. It makes your blood boil if you're a coach.
A fantastic catch by Ryan Leaf as he gets horse-collared in the end zone. It looked like the defender, if the defender had gone up for the pick instead of gone up for the tackle, that might have been different.
By the power of Grayskull, I became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
Standing by with this update. Reese?
Let's have a look at what's going on in Palo Alto. You could almost sense during the game that this
Arizona State having a very impressive year at 3-1. Quarterback throwing for 5 touchdowns, almost 300 yards. That's a fantastic game, and Stanford's undefeated right now.
battle in the Pac-12. This one
Ooh, A&M losing to Arkansas is interesting.
point W.
And then it's collapsed since being ranked number 1.
Yeah, but Florida's producing this year, 51 points. We're seeing some big...
Massive third down after 2 consecutive.
Yeah. Well, you did that on purpose for the timeouts. You were resting Vega.
Nice kick, plenty of distance.
It was in very deep coverage.
This one's going to be down in the end zone
Only
for a
place where
touchback.
he kicked off the ball. It was perfectly timed for him to be reaching that spot when the ball got them. At the time, the distance.
Yep. Nebraska over Michigan State. Michigan State actually having a very impressive year already because they've beat some
They come out onto the field.
very good teams.
Throws complete. He's got room to work. He's tackled
As
at 4.
Stevens makes one defender miss in the flat for 9 yards. And there's Zach Butler, the running back who's been dragging this Arizona team along with him, despite their other weaknesses. But that time he gets hit for short when one of Washington State's D tackles gets off his block. Oh, that was Jack London?
Yeah, came off his block. That was usual.
Oh. Sorry, London got blocked so quickly I thought it was up. And this time London sprints past the halfback in the backfield.
Good thing the rest of our defense was right there.
Indeed, it was a good thing that the rest of the Washington State defense was right there waiting for him, making it shorter yardage. As Arizona completes third down on another pass into the flat.
It's a first down for this offense. Keeps everybody enthusiastic. You can see the
I apologize.
this offense is gaining. Coaches and players on the sideline are fired up, and it's a new set of downs.
As this time Zach Butler gets stopped for 0 yards.
From the 40-yard line. Second down. Quick throw, and he's tackled.
Excellent reception there from Simon for 15 yards. As current formation appears to have a fullback and a tight end in as offensive linemen for Arizona State. Arizona, I apologize.
Fires it up. And down he goes at the 5. Short yardage defense here. He scrambled. And he hits him hard.
The sack for minus yardage.
When the quarterback gets hit like that,
Another one bites the dust.
protect the quarterback a little bit.
Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot out.
That brings up a second and goal. Ball on the 9-yard line. They'll spread the field with 5 wide. Quick strike to the receiver. Touchdown.
Despite the deep coverage call, Arizona finds a seam in the defense and gets the reception for the touchdown.
They'll line up for the extra point in an attempt to tie the game.
And we have a very quick drive. Took about 2 minutes for the game to be tied with 1 minute 36 left to go in the first.
He's to the 10. And he makes it out to about the 17-yard line.
Arizona State over Stanford is final, as is UCLA over Oregon. We're beginning to see the pack take shape.
The offense will come out again hoping to have similar results as their last drive.
Well, it's one thing to have speed. It's another thing to have an idea of what you're doing, how to attack defense. And right now, these wide receivers clearly have done an outstanding.
Vincent Vega gets into the secondary but can't escape the safety. Gets
26-yard game.
he got a 26-yard game, but if he'd beaten, but that was the only man he had to. I was just saying, he only had one man to beat, and that was a touchdown. That was a great play.
Okay.
It was a great play, but he only had one man to beat.
They come out in a 5-wide set. He's scrambling. He's in trouble.
We expect a lot of Vincent Vega.
I know. It's just every time we get a 5-yard gain, it's oh my gosh. And every time we get a 25-yard gain, it's oh that was.
Hey, they're not as good as you.
From the 43-yard line, it's first down. Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. He's on the run.
And a great throw on his tippy toes. Really, that was.
And they put that hand up, you can trust him a little bit more.
Yeah, that was sort of, if he was a car, that would have been while he was, leaving rubber on the road while braking. He was skidding to a stop while he threw that.
8-yard line. First down. And he's taken down right around the 28-yard line.
That's can you run almost every play.
Yeah. Vega has been on his feet, moving around quite a lot. Sure.
So at the end of one, we get a tie game at 7-7.
That was maybe the best play I made in a couple seasons.
The 26-yarder. That was a very, very good play, but I also do think that you'd set that up very well. You've got a running play clock.
Welcome back to the action. Just about set to start quarter number 2, and we're all
1 second. It appears to be.
And he's tackled after positive yardage. Gain of 6 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 4. So it's 3rd down now, and they're going to need about 4.
Washington State 3rd and 4 to get into the red zone.
Play action. No pressure.
Ooh, a fantastic break tackle from Vincent Vega there, but Eric Estrada getting out of bounds rather than getting the first down. But he's young.
He doesn't. I mean, he's only a senior. It's because he doesn't have the agility as a fullback.
Okay, so
He has to plant too wide.
yeah, okay. Eric Estrada, he's a senior, unfortunately, he's got a big turning radius.
They'll call on the field goal unit here.
Captain there. You gotta stand down
Washington
this year.
State
You're a
is
senior.
looking to go up by 3. It's up, and in.
As Washington State takes the 36-yard chip shot to take the lead again.
Fight, fight, fight for Washington State. Win the victory. Win the day for Crimson and Gray. Best in the West, we know you'll all do your best. So on, fight till the end. Honor and glory you must win. So fight, fight, fight for Washington State and victory.
Slancha. Tonight's Washington State game brought to you by whiskey.
The kicker looks like he's ready to kick this one off.
P.D. Pablo puts it square in the middle of the end zone. George takes the touchback.
Goes into the end zone, down for a touchback.
And let's see what Arizona can do on this drive. Last drive really fueled by that running back,
Waste possessions.
Zach Butler. There he is in the backfield on the left.
And they get nice yardage on that run.
We are brought to you this evening by Jameson Signature Reserve. It is a barrel-aged Irish whiskey only available in the Republic of Ireland.
That's what I'm talking about.
As Jack London
This time around.
gets stuck to a blocker and uses his blocker to stop Zach Butler in the backfield for a massive loss.
Yeah, we had to hang on. Create a two-man wall.
That was about keeping his offensive blocker and using him rather than shedding the block and trying to get him himself.
Second and long.
Because, as we've seen, Butler is maneuverable. Another great tackle for loss there, and this time London gets a hand on him to slow him down to make sure that the second man can tackle him outside in the flat before he, gets around the end.
Third down now, and they need to get it out to midfield.
And Arizona now has third and very long.
The pattern as they're in the shotgun. And he can't.
And I'm going to be honest, for a moment there, it really looked like a Benny Hill movie there with Washington State's defensive front going this way and that way and falling on their face, but they got the sack. So that's it's impressive from them and not that impressive from those offensive linemen of Arizona State. There's Arizona, I'm sorry. I'm so used to adding state to everything because you're Washington State, I'm Penn State. State. As they punt on 4th and 31. And a mediocre block means it's only a 6-yard return. So starting on the 42-yard line, 4 minutes, 11 seconds left to go in the second, Washington State with the lead.
Momentum swings have been fairly even. With so little separation, this game can be drastically changed on just one or two plays. Washington State is up by 3. Now he tries to buy some time. He passes it.
Had to use it up 'cause he was going to get those.
Yeah, a fantastic job to get out of the pocket when he saw that guys were going to break late. And I'll be honest, I think he actually should have stopped running a little sooner and passed it sooner, and that's why you had to use or catch it, because you threw it so late to Voorhees. But it was still a great play.
That's as far right as I could.
No, absolutely. But that safety help was coming from the other side, and you had to get there first, and you had to use it. But it was a great play.
First and 10. Ball on the 42-yard line. The quarterback in the gun. Empty backfield. 5 wide receivers in the formation. He sails it long.
As once again we see the long ball to Voorhees, dragging his feet.
So after the big pass play, we
Justice
have a
ready.
first and
It's
goal.
gonna come right here. I hope it must be going quick.
They come out in an empty backfield. Scrambling around. And he tackles him hard.
Vincent Vega takes a sack for minus 10 yards. Still second and goal. That time extended the play, but nobody broke open. Man coverage too close. That's hard in the end zone. You know, part of what makes those plays work so well for Washington State is the fact that it's just so much space downfield that the other team can't cover all 60 yards. But there's only 20 yards worth of end zone. You can get a lot denser zone coverage, a lot more help from multiple guys.
From the 11-yard line. Second down. Washington State is up a
As we
field
see John McClain.
He's going to try and scramble. Now he's going to run and watch out.
John McClain in on a passing play, but goes for the scramble for 7 yards, getting most of the sack back. Make it 3rd and 4 for Washington State. 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
If he was wide open, I would not.
Here we go, folks. 3rd and goal from the 4. In the shotgun and 5 wideouts.
You gotta be kidding me.
And it's going to be an interception.
And Arizona picks up the dropped reception in the end zone for the touchback. That's a miracle catch for them as they now start at their 20-yard line with a minute and 48 seconds left to go, behind only by 3.
He gets out to about the 22-yard line. The running back gets 2 on the
Despite the momentum gain from the interception, only a 2-yard gain there from Butler. Clearly, Washington State knows what Arizona's game plan is,
State's going to use their first time out of the half.
as both teams spend a timeout on this down. Maybe coach wanted to light the fire, maybe didn't like the offensive look, wanted to bring out a different defense. Who knows? Yeah. Well, an excellent jump there from London to rush the pass to the check down guy who was really well covered and got stopped for 1 yard because the defender was draped on him. As the clock now ticks down to 1:20. 3rd and 6. As that looked like a screen, that was deflected and forcing Arizona to a punt and saving the timeout by deflecting the ball. And that's big. Gives Washington State the ball back with just under a minute. Once again, gets stopped at about his own 40. And this is what we typically see out of Washington State. 20-1 in yardage between Vega and everybody else.
This game started where this team was, they wondered if they were going to be able to move the ball against this defense. I think right now, I think they seem to, as I said earlier, they seem to be growing with their confidence with each possession.
As Vega takes it out of bounds to stop time instead of passing for the first down. Smart play there by Vince Vega and Coach Spectre. And now we see Washington State break out the Wildcat.
Now he's scrambling. He throws right. Great concentration to haul it in. And he's tackled at the 14.
Yes, a fantastic play from the Wildcat there, right before Vega got out of bounds to Ernst Blofeld. But Leon, to answer your question, the way that they got it back so quickly was a 3 and out. The There were 2 positive plays for Arizona and then a deflected screen pass, and then they punted. And now Washington State has 20 seconds and 14 yards until pay dirt.
From the 14-yard line. 2nd down. Nice run there. The Cougars are going to call their 2nd timeout.
6 yards in 4 seconds, 8 yards till the end zone. I have to say, the end zones here at Arizona, they look like they could be from a political campaign banner. Hannibal Lecter gets a 4-yard reception on the drag route for first down, but is caught short of the touchdown line. Looks like 3.5 yards. And Washington State spikes the ball to stop the clock. 11 seconds yet. 11 seconds left. 2nd and goal, 4-yard line.
From the 4-yard line. It's 2nd down. Washington State holds a field goal lead. Here comes the pressure, and he's level at the 15-yard line. Washington State's out of timeout.
And one of the Arizona guys gets past the Washington State offensive line for the sack. Now 3rd and goal on the 15-yard line.
Third down now and goal to go. Ball on the 15.
Ooh, as a nice little dance in the pocket. Ooh. Dangerous return there from Edwards for 34 yards. Thankfully, Arizona doesn't actually get that field position now that it's halftime. They're going to receive a different kickoff.
Hi, everybody. Glad to have you with us on the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show.
Alabama Ole Miss this week.
Innovation that excites. Bruce Davis, David Pollock here in the studio as always to lend a little perspective to what
Ole Miss has had some other good wins. I think they're having an up year. I think.
That escalated quickly. Got away a little bit from this team that's supposed to be in control of the game, and now suddenly they are. And David, we
Yeah, no, it surprised Leon how quickly you got the ball back after they got that pick.
change things. Have to give a big speech. What's the most important, the most impactful thing that this team could do in the second half to turn this game
We're
around?
on pace
Well,
for
I think you come into half and you do have all those great speeches and the coaches do try to get you fired up, but then you realize that you just got to execute. And I think you don't come in as a favorite, as a more talented team and panic, and that's something that you can't do. So I think the second half you come out and
All right, Reese and David, thanks, guys. Second half action just about ready to start here. And he got all of this one. Great kick. He's to the 20. He makes it out to maybe the 20-yard line. Washington State's the type of team, when you look at them, it looks like their defense sort of just feeds off itself.
I think the energy is there, Brad, but I think it really starts up front with their defensive line and their linebackers, the way they're being able to just win the battle at the line of scrimmage. I think it's giving them confidence, and it's allowing them to play more downhill where they can attack this offense.
Straight ahead of again, and there's nowhere to run.
Jimmy Buffett gets the Dikembe Mutombo in the backfield. Puts Zach Butler in the dirt off of what looked like a fairly slow handoff there.
From their own 17-yard line.
But all these hits in the backfield are really putting Arizona in a spot.
Hits him hard at the 10.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot out.
Back-to-back tackles for loss there from Jimmy Buffett of Washington State. Unfortunately, the refs will not let him play with a parrot on his head or too much margarita in his belly. As Allen Ginsberg gets the swat but loses the pick.
We'd rather not pick. That would have been worse than what's going to be the punt.
Yeah.
Don't forget to return the punt, even tackle.
Yeah, coaches, of course, pointing out that the punt here
Hardy is ready for the snap.
probably going to get better field position. As we see, excellent field position, this time 4 yards into enemy territory for Washington State. Pauly Shore up the gut for 9 yards out of a single back formation. I believe it was one tight end and 3 wide receivers on the left. I'm sorry.
Second down now. They're just a few feet away from that first down marker. Zips it to the back. He's at the 20.
Pauly Shore with a couple of fantastic moves there after the audible in to the I formation, the audible out of the I formation, and the snap just a couple of seconds before delay of game. Gets wide open in the midfield and does a great spin move to change direction 45 degrees for another 15 yards. As we now see, first and goal from the 8 for Washington State.
6 points here.
As Ryan Leaf gets the reception in the back of the end zone.
By the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
Sends it sailing downfield.
All right, and once again, Arizona starting with a touchback, and we'll see if they can avoid. I believe they've had 3 and outs on their last 2 possessions. Haven't had a first down in quite a while, so we'll see if Washington State continues to get into Arizona's backfield, or if they can find something that works on offense.
Looking to be a little bit more successful with this drive as they had to punt the ball away the last time they had it.
Down 2 possessions.
Yeah, and there we go. This time the run blocking works for Arizona, and Zach Butler gets good yardage. An excellent example of team tackling there on that tackle for loss to get to 2nd and 14. The first guy got broken, and then the second guy came in. Yeah, that's always a rough game. I had the Wolverines for a couple of seasons in earlier version of this dynasty, and that Ohio State game, I used to say, I don't have a 12-game schedule. I got a 1-game schedule. Ohio State. 7 yards on second down, normally pretty good, but when you're at 2nd and 14 and get to 3rd and 7, it's not really enough.
Washington State will take a timeout.
Washington State spending a timeout early in the 3rd quarter, resting their guys and getting light the fire for 3rd and long.
3rd and 7 coming up
Fantastic coverage means that the pass doesn't go for long enough, and Arizona will be forced to punt again.
Slow him down.
Hardy is the punter. London fields it for 17. He's out to the 30. He's tackled at the 32.
Arizona still with less than 100 yards of offense so far this game. Knuckles, has the entirety of that dynasty been with Michigan, or did you start somewhere else and earn the Michigan job?
Pretty display of passing was a result of their last drive. Kirk, do you expect the defense to take a different approach here?
When this quarterback is on, he is on. It already seems like whatever this defense is trying just isn't working.
That's an impressive play from Ryan Fields, who isn't a great player. Oh no, that might be their best player. That might be their strong safety. That's their best secondary player, but he's a 78. He's not great, but he's the best their secondary's got, and he got a hand in.
Between a defender and a receiver, I think the receiver's got to show more effort and a willingness to fight for the football. The safety just knocked that ball away from him.
As we see the exact same play
Formation now.
out of a different formation, same play, different formation, and clearly a user catch there to get Jack London to turn around and turn the go route into a curl route, 45 yards downfield.
Big play for cornerback.
Yeah, Jack London, a cornerback, not a wide receiver.
Now it's first and 10 with the defense trying to regroup after giving up the big pass.
Washington State, just outside the red zone, knocking on that door. As Vincent Vega runs for 6 yards.
Nice run up the middle.
Score like that.
Great. Knuckles, I have a question, because one of the things that we do in this league, this is our 10th season. This is the 5th season of this online iteration where we all started at one-star teams. But we have some pretty severe restrictions on recruiting, on the number of players you can sign per year, and the quality of, and how many of what quality players you can sign each year. And with a dynasty that long, where you've been at a blue-chip school like Michigan for so long, do you have any problems with, for example, you stealing all of the good players from Michigan State and Ohio? Sorry, from Michigan State and Ohio State. Have you deforested the Big Ten and taken all the players, or is it still competitive in year 12?
What the defense does with a 5-wide outlook.
Fantastic spin move from Voorhees to turn, 1 yard to go into a touchdown there.
Fight, fight, fight for Washington State. Win the victory. Win the day for crimson and gray. Best in the West, we know you'll all do your best. So on, fight till the end. Honor and glory you must win. So fight, fight, fight for Washington State and victory.
And it results in a touchdown.
When you can throw the football as well as these guys can, you don't necessarily always have to have a balanced attack because you're so proficient in throwing the ball.
And it looks like they're ready for the kickoff. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. The Wildcats are just falling apart in this quarter. I mean, are there any positives you can even use to motivate the team right now?
Well, as bad as it looks and feels right now, there's still over a quarter of football to be played. You just got to forget about the mistakes, try to get a little bit of momentum created, and get confidence back in this quarterback being able to make plays for it.
Their last drive resulted in a punt, so let's see if they can put together something a little more promising here.
If they're going to make a comeback in this game, it's going to have to start now. This offense has to get rolling.
Knocked out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. This flag came from the umpire, and that means this is probably holding.
Little stumbles like these can kill your offensive progress.
it's first down and an eternity. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. And he's got his receiver. It's the sophomore. Tackle at the 21-yard line. A gain of 6.
Well, he really didn't have to do too much there to give himself a little room to make the catch.
The quarterback in the gun. Empty backfield. 5 wide receivers in the formation. Throwing left. And a nice catch there before he stepped out of bounds. Superb effort by the receiver to come down with that ball.
This comes down to the timing between the quarterback and the receiver, and the result, again, a nice play for the offense.
5 wide. Fires quick out to the receiver, and he can't make the grab. So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 43-yard line. And he throws it away. Lets it fly. He almost had it, but it's incomplete.
It's an intelligent play by the defender. All you have to do sometimes is get your hand on the ball.
Hardy to punt. Makes it out to maybe the 29-yard line. This senior quarterback's put on a good show, Kirk.
Well, Brad, you just said it. He's a senior quarterback, and that experience is so important. It allows you to just sit back and comfortably read the defenses and then eventually find the man that's open and deliver the football.
A touchdown was the end result of their last drive as this offense moved the ball very well with their passing game.
I love to watch a quarterback when he can really get into sync with his wide receivers. These guys have worked all week on their preparation to attack this defense, and right now it's really paying off.
It's 2nd down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks. Incomplete, and that wasn't the greatest pass in the world.
Well, I don't know how anybody can throw a great pass while getting drilled like
Good
that.
coverage there meant Vincent Vega had to wait, and things got a little too sticky, but he got the ball away. That's an interesting defensive formation there that Arizona's been using, because if you look at the 2 players that have the stars underneath their feet on defense, they're both defensive ends. So that was 2 defensive ends next to each other on Washington State's left side there, as opposed to, you know, the traditional defensive ends bracketing the defensive tackle.
From the 43-yard line, first down.
The check down to Pauly Shore and another spin move gets Washington State first down. As the clock ticks down and we enter the 4th quarter. wide receiver screen there for the first down. To answer your question, Knuckles, no, I have not played any Road to Glories, but Coach Spectre has, and he tells me that he liked it. He liked it a lot better in like '07 when it, I guess, had some more features or other things. I don't know. I didn't play it. I actually only started playing this when we began League 1 a few years ago. So before that I had only played about 6 games of Madden in my life before taking up NCAA. But yes, as Leon is saying, and as Dr. Jocular may no longer see, so I'll mention it audio-wise as we watch 3rd and 1. Pauly Shore gets stopped short, running clock. Dr. Jocular, if you pull up on a laptop or on your phone, twitch.tv/sixgunninja/chat, that will be just the chat window, so you can watch on your Xbox and chat on your phone, tablet, or other internet-connected device. As Leon has said, that's what he does. That's what I do when I watch streamers very frequently. So you could still continue to heckle me, and I could, not pass that along to Coach Spectre if you'd like to continue doing that. So, Knuckles agrees with you, Coach. He doesn't like how fast you level up, and he prefers the old Campus Legend stuff. He says he plays PS2 06. As we see another stop in the backfield on 2nd down by Al Green this time, puts Arizona at 2nd and 11. They are many points down. 27 points down, with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the 4th. Still under 100 yards. As Jack London narrowly misses the sack, and Kevin Stevens doesn't go down until the 3rd reception, 8 yards. That is a big tight end for 3rd and 3. But the scrum in the middle of the field for another loss of yardage means it's 4th and 3. I believe that is another. No, did they get their first down? They did. That is another 3 and out. Jack London catching the punt, and once again, too many guys downfield for his blockers, and he gets short yardage on the block. Total yards for Arizona this game, 114. And that includes a 34-yard return.
Good job on their last drive, getting 3. Let's see if they can get some more on this drive.
They just seem like they've been in the end zone time and time again. There's not much negative you can say about this performance.
He airs it out. Pulls it in, and he could score.
And that was about a 7-second possession there from Washington State with a touchdown from our good friend.
What a game this kid had. He's thrown.
Vincent Vega, our man in Amsterdam.
And his receivers are making plays. So I don't just give credit.
But excellent job there from Harris, which is not a name that I've seen before.
That's Alonzo Harris from training day.
That is Alonzo Harris. There as one of the younger wide receivers on Washington State. One of the things that a lot of people do in League 1, myself included, is we put our younger wide receivers at the sideline routes and our older, better, more experienced wide receivers closer in the slot or outside of the slot, because we tend to prefer those passing routes, those straight go routes. We don't use them very much unless you've got a guy with fantastic speed. But if you just got a guy that needs field time to become your first choice in a couple of years, it's a great thing if he's just going to run laps up and down the field to put him in on the sidelines, have him run sideline routes and take draw defenders. So I'm sure we will see much more from Alonzo Harris in years to come as he slowly gets a reception here and there as a young guy running sideline routes for Washington State. And we have another 3rd and long for Arizona. Some of that stuff actually really rubbed me, with the Nissan coming in and a lot of that stuff, and particularly some of the comments made by the announcers, really rubbed me the wrong way when I started playing this game. And some of them still do. Like there's this one particular sound tag about kickers that drives me nuts. But overall, I do think the presentation is pretty good. It does get you definitely in the field. Another thing I'm going to say, and I don't think this is telling Coach anything that he hasn't already figured out, but I think clearly one of the reasons that this defense is working so well for Washington State is really Arizona wants to run the ball 9 times out of 10 on first down, and Washington State knows this. And the only first downs that are working, first down plays that are working, are when they don't run it, when Arizona doesn't run it on first down. As a busted play gets long yardage for Arizona, they are 1st and goal. So, Knuckles, we have uniform DLC number 1, the one that was free for everybody. But if you do get into online play with other players, in which if you want to do on PlayStation, there's lots of people on the NCAA 14 subreddit. There's lots of people on OperationSports.com who do online dynasties, multiplayer online dynasties. But for reasons of stability, for in order to have the game, especially user games, not crash, you got to make sure that everybody in the league has the same uniform DLCs, whether or not those uniform DLCs are actually appearing in the game you're playing. Doesn't matter if you've got some Big Ten DLC uniforms, but you're playing somebody else who's both Pac-12 teams, and neither of you guys are using or have Pac-12 uniform DLC. If you've got Big Ten DLC and the other guy doesn't, that can, among other things, cause you stability problems. So if you do multiplayer, it's actually something most people stay away from, as I understand it. As we see, despite that long yardage, a good defensive stand from Washington State, as I was talking about uniforms, to force 4th and goal from the 5-yard line.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Well, and that's something to discuss, Knuckles. I mean, you might find a league where everybody already has all the DLC. But one thing I would mention is I'm not sure you can still download it at this point. I know, for example, I have the game digitally because there was a period in time when you could buy this game digitally from the Xbox Online store. That's no longer true. So before doing that, you do want to look to see what you might be able to get back in the future, because you do want to be careful. Yeah, so if you do want to be in an online league, we're playing on Xbox 360, but I know that there's lots of people. We get lots of people coming into chat who play on the PlayStation. There's definitely people out there, as I said, in the NCAA 14 subreddit and on OperationSports.com. So you can definitely look there if that's something you're interested in. When you do, if you look at Operation Sports, I definitely suggest you look at their sliders. I can't remember the name of the sliders we're currently using because J-Kit's sliders. Yes. It's a set of sliders for Heisman difficulty that makes things even harder than Heisman by reducing a lot of things, like you get 0 pass blocking, you get 0 help with running back ability, speed is true rather than rubber banded. It makes the game a lot more difficult and a lot more realistic, and we want that because we like to play in a league where it's just as hard for a user to be undefeated as it is for any AI team. But that's definitely deep end of the pool stuff. So I definitely think you should look at it and see what it is that you want to use and play. But Operation Sports is great for that. As we see Eric Estrada get a 2-yard reception to get it to be 3rd and 5. 49 seconds left to go. 7-yard line. Washington State ball. 41-7. That missed reception to the wide open fullback there makes it 4th and 5. So Washington State's going to kick another field goal. Yep. Or do it too soon before he cuts. You do have to learn the timing of that because your fullback isn't necessarily going to compensate for your missed throw as much as a wide receiver is. As we see Washington State kick off to Arizona, 44 seconds left to go. Arizona still only 7 points.
And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. We're late in the fourth quarter. This game has been a blowout for quite some time.
So we advance the week in real time. So we advance 1 week per week real time. We are currently streaming our games on Friday nights. We were doing Sundays before football season started, but now that football season started, we're doing Friday nights. So yeah, once a week, Fridays. For the duration of the season, you should expect to see usually a doubleheader of one Washington State game and one Penn State game, except, of course, when either of us has a bye later in the week, as Allen Ginsberg gets the 3rd deflection of the game. As I said, once a week, doubleheader. Speaking of which, there will be the second of our 2 games is coming up after this one. What'll happen is I, Coach Ninja, will coach Penn State against Illinois, and Coach Spectre, who is the coach of Washington State, whose game you've just watched, will be doing the commentary on my game. The reason we do this rather than comment on our own streams is because, as I've said, we're in a competitive league, and streaming your own, commenting on your own game as you stream it, that adds a degree of difficulty that we're not willing to heap onto ourselves because we want to win. As Vincent Vega gets sacked on the very last play of the game, can't get that last pass off. As the game ends, 44-7, Washington State. Saw. So, an excellent game, both sides of the ball there from Washington State. I think clearly Washington State's defense knew what Arizona was trying to do, took it away, and just kept putting them in bad positions. And that secondary, well, the offensive line, the defensive line, which was the best part of Arizona's defense, was just not good enough to make up for the fact that they had a terrible secondary and an okay linebacking core. All in all, an impressive but unsurprising game from Washington State. So, Knuckles, to let you know, we will need a short break. Myself and Coach, we could use probably some. I know I need to use the facilities, and we have a pile of Korean fried chicken here that we have not yet started to eat. So we're gonna have to get into that too, and we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes with the kickoff of Game 2.
It's in the game.
All right, so we're not quite ready to kick off. We've still got a couple of housekeeping items to take care of, so we'll probably kick off in the next 5 minutes or so. Yes, online dynasties are great fun. We've got about 7 guys. Yeah, we've got 7 guys in this dynasty. We're all friends of would know people from college and being roommates and all sorts of other things. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to be competitive and watch other people's games. You may see in chat later 1 or 2 of the other guys from the league as they become available, depending on their schedule. I'm going to take a quick look at the depth chart of Illinois, who I am playing this week. Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and I was saying to someone else earlier, the subreddit for NCAA 14 has a lot of good stuff for them, as does Operation Sports. It's a forum dedicated to sports games and stuff like that. Both of those are great places to find people doing, pick up online leagues online. So, but yeah, Illinois, looking at a senior here. It's decent speed and agility and acceleration. That's pretty poor awareness for a senior at quarterback. What does his what's his pass accuracy, pass throw power, throw accuracy? Okay, so he's an 81 senior. That's sort of par for the course. So that depends on the league. Some leagues will definitely let you pick whichever team you want. In ours, when you join the league, you start at a 1-star school, and you have to get schools like Penn State or USC or the University of Houston through the coaching carousel. I mean, that's something we're always sort of open to when it comes to the off season. We're in week 5 right now, so that's because we spin 1 week a month, 1 week per week. That's quite a ways away. But it's also something where it's like, we're all real life friends, so if we add anybody through online, through Twitch, we want to get to know them. But go ahead and follow Six Gun Ninja on Twitch, and become a regular, and yeah, we'll talk about it. So, but yeah, sorry, this is my first conference game of the season, so I do want to make sure that I actually know who I'm playing before I get started. In a minute, I'll hand off the headset and the mic to Coach Spectre, who's going to do the actual play-by-play for the whole game, and you can distract him rather than distract me. Because he's going to be doing play-by-play and in charge of the soundboard. But yeah, that's a not great quarterback. That's also not great halfback. He's fast and he has acceleration, but again, not a great amount of awareness. Does he receive the ball? Not really. Passing for 20 yards a game and rushing for 60 yards a game. That's not amazing. That is a useful fullback. I mean, that's a lot better than a lot of other teams. But it would appear, let's look at his stats. Speed, acceleration, run, block, pass. Okay. Impact. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think he's a blocking fullback. So that makes sense. He's gonna be a blocker. Mr. Whitworth there. Johnson, 70 yards. Reed, 40 yards. Bradley, okay, so we're talking about Johnson and Reed, and Perry, 92. Okay, Perry is the guy on their team. Perry's the number one receiver at tight end. Tight end's a difficult position to cover, particularly if they're the number one receiver. So that's really good to know. This is why you have to look at the team ahead of time, because I'm going to have to pay attention to Perry on passing downs. All right. 71, 85, 78, 81, 73. That is not a good offensive line. That's got some serious weaknesses at the tackles, which I can totally try to exploit. All right, left end, right end. Okay.
They're not the worst Big Ten team, it's the second worst.
Yeah. I mean, weak at D tackle. If these guys aren't the worst Big Ten team, they're the second worst. Middle linebackers, crap. And I know for a fact that this Ferdwa here is out for 6 weeks. I know I looked that up beforehand. So they're playing a free safety in as their starting right outside linebacker, which is not good. Again, not a great line and not an amazing cornerbacking core. Free safety, I think, might be their best player, period, at 86. Oh no, their punter's the best player. But yeah, overall, not an impressive team, a decent warm-up to get into the Big Ten. But now my co-host is back, so I'm going to turn over the headset to Coach Spectre as I get ready to kick off Illinois at Penn State.
glad to have you with us in the studio. I'm Reese Davis, bringing you the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 pregame show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Some of the great stadiums, great traditions, great uniforms in college football. Time to put them on display. Early season action in the Big Ten. That does it for us here on the NCAA College Football pregame show. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at the half.
Good afternoon, sports fans. We've got the Penn State Nittany Lions ranked 25th in the country, number 1 in your heart, at home at Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, taking on the Illinois Fighting Illini, coming in at 2-0. A surprising record for Illinois, out of the norm for them, but they did start out with a 1AA school, as they used to be called, now currently FCS, as well as another weak team, Boston College, who's yet to find victory. Penn State, for their part, starting the season 1-2 with a couple of tough losses against some highly ranked opponents, the Ole Miss Runnin' Rebels, as well as your number 1 ranked Washington State Cougars. Penn State got a couple of recruits visiting today. They're going to try to execute and win the football game first, but if they can get those extra bonuses, it'll make the day all the sweeter.
One off, and you can feel the thunder in the crowd as they await the start of this game.
Penn State opening with the ball at home. Similar scenario to the game that you just witnessed. We'll see if they can take the opening drive down the football field.
About 4 yards on the play.
4-yard gain to get things started up the gut out of the twin tight end set. One of Penn State's favorite opening plays, the halfback ISO. Gets the throw to Howell, playing in that second tight end slot. The redshirt freshman wide receiver. Waiting to get up, but being stood on. It's going to be 3rd and inches here on the first set of downs for the Nittany Lions. They run the read option. James Williams takes it out the gut. Coach Ninja with a good call there. Way to run the quarterback keeper and get the necessary inches. They've got 1st and 10. Moving the ball left to right across your radio dial, out of the shadow of their own goalposts on the opening drive here in Happy Valley. Hits the corner route wide open is Cole Robinson, the star tight end. He's a 99 overall. There was some talk that he might exit in this year's draft, but he stayed in school, came back for his senior season, and he might be, if not the best, certainly tied for the best tight end in the country.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on the 37-yard
Cole
line.
Robinson probably is getting a degree in economics.
Harrison able to stab the ball into the heart of the defense for a 7-yard gain. That's going to set up second and short here on the 31-yard line of the Fighting Illini. Harrison crunched in the backfield, a loss of 1. It'll be 3rd and 4 now. And Penn State will get tested with a 3rd down here, trying to get the ball into better scoring position.
Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. Pulls it in and he's in the open field. Tackle at the 20-yard line.
A clutch 3rd down conversion for the Nittany Lions. That's going to put the ball at the 20-yard line.
Here's the 8th play of the series.
Corner route to Robinson again. He goes around the defender instead of getting held up, makes the smart route, evades the coverage, finds the spot in the defense, makes the catch, and Penn State's got a 1st and goal on the 3-yard line. Coach Ninja flips the play to the left, gets down to about the 1.5-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down in the shadow of Illinois' goalposts. We'll see what Coach Ninja comes out with here on 2nd down. After the 1st down ISO didn't work, they're coming out of the I formation. We've got a shotgun here with wide trips. It's the read option to the right, and Penn State is into the end zone. Penn State opens the scoring 7-0 here in the 1st quarter. We're about midway through the 7-minute quarter here in Season 10 of League 1. We're in Week 5 now. Penn State opened the season with that close loss to Ole Miss at home before getting the win over the Houston Cougars, led by Coach Seawack, followed up by a close loss to yours truly, Coach Spectre's Washington State Cougars. Now Penn State looking to get the stop here and take good control of this football game. They've already done their part on offense. Now we're looking for the defense that they're known for. just as we were talking about the Penn State defense, they come right into the backfield and eat Illinois' quarterback alive. It's going to put them into second and long here. They got a man in motion right to left. Penn State gang tackles short of the first down. It's going to be 3rd and 3. And even better, Illinois gets a little slap happy there at the line of scrimmage prior to the snap. False start. It's going to be 3rd and longer. 39-yard line. Penn State in an excellent position. Gets him just shy. It's going to be 4th and inches. Bring out the chain gang. I don't think it's going to be enough. They're bringing out the punter instead. Penn State with the stop. They're going to get the ball back with a chance to go up by 2 scores here in the first half. Early going here at Beaver Stadium. They run the fake. It's a fake. It's a trap. And Illinois flush with momentum. Going to have a 1st and 10 here, already across the midfield stripe into Penn State territory on their opening drive, looking to respond and tie up this ball game. 11-yard gain is going to give them another first down. And Penn State's defense is going to need to regroup. A good start there to this series of downs. 2nd and 7. Something to work with here for the Nittany Lions. They take it to the outside to the left. A couple of missed tackles. It's going to give you the first down. A 12-yard gain by Adam James. That's going to be his 2nd carry of the day. He's got 23 yards here on his last and first 2 carries. Penn State switching up defenses just a little bit, a little tweak. They get to the right side. A broken tackle sees Illinois into the end zone. James, 3 carries, over 10 yards to carry. And Illinois ties this ball game up, awaiting the extra point. And Leon, you're absolutely right. The soundbite for trap for special teams fakes, while not used rarely, would be quite apropos. Well, Illinois did what they needed to there, but they're going to have a lot more needed tos today. Starting with his next drive by the Nittany Lions from their 25-yard line. Left or right across your radio dial, Penn State is going to try to get the ball 70 yards, 75 yards down the field. The dump off to the fullback, Ricky Carter. An excellent 8-yard catch out of the backfield. Sets up 2nd and short. Just 2 yards needed for the next first down. They'll take it plain and simple, up the gut. Thankfully, 2 yards gets the first. Harrison's now got 13 yards on the ground. 1st and 10. Nittany Lions out to the 35-yard line. Harrison for 2 over the left side. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
Second and 8 coming up here. All on the 37-yard line.
Spreading out in the shotgun now out of the wide trips. Man in motion. Not the wide trips, but a different shotgun, 3 wide. But it ends up in a sack.
Terrible.
It's going to be 3rd and a mile here on the first play of the second quarter. First quarter comes to an end, 7-7. Penn State with the ball, trying to take the lead.
So at the end of one quarter, we get a tie game at 7-7. We're all tied up as we head into quarter number 2. Empty backfield. Quarterback in the gun. 5 wide receivers. Incomplete. They got a hand on it.
Double coverage, gets one hand on it. It's going to be 4th and 16. Williams' first incompletion of the day. That was a tough ask in tough coverage on a tough down and distance.
As he's able to show enough instincts there to be able to knock that ball away.
Holt is waiting for the snap. And this one is a beauty.
Way up into the clouds, coming down to the 20-yard line. Here's Illinois on the return, but tackled inside the 40 after a 16-yard return. Illinois is going to take over on their own 30, about their 37-yard line. Penn State doing a good job on the punt coverage. After that went a mile into the sky.
They start to open it up a little bit more now.
Tied in with a couple of broken tackles. They have a tendency to do that when they get into the secondary. Hutchinson 5 for 5 now for Illinois. Off to a fast start. The fighting Illini. Almost sacked. They had guys right there in the backfield. Perry with a 7-yard catch on first down gets him 2nd and short. Penn State will look to regroup here on defense. A good tackle there, holds him to 4 yards, but they do get the first down just inside the 40-yard line. Probably not quite in field goal range yet for the Illini. Penn State looking to do some damage here on defense. Coming out with a couple of guys on the line of scrimmage. They brought a couple of guys on the blitz. Unable to quite get there, but they got close again. A 5-yard gain, one of those short gains to Perry. He seems to be the weapon of choice on first down passes on the last 3 series of downs. Good coverage, a lot of bodies there in the middle for Penn State, but nobody able to make the tackle. Just a little bit of extra elusiveness there from James. He's, of course, a little bit heated up. That's his first carry since the touchdown. He was able to find a little bit of space and evade the tacklers there. Safety with a solid tackle. But it is a completion. It is a first down. Hutchinson now 8 for 8. Penn State having a difficult time on pass defense.
From the 12-yard line. First down. Fires it out. Touchdown, Illini.
Just enough momentum.
A big possession receiver falls forward. You see he's a little bit bigger than the defensive back. Not the safety there, but the first tackler.
When you've got a guy who's that wide open.
Singletary, a solid tackler. Unfortunately, the receiver there already had his momentum going well forward by the time Singletary got there. The missed tackle just prior to that by the cornerback, resulting in the touchdown for Illinois. Penn State's going to look to respond here in the early goings of the second quarter.
Momentum swings have been fairly even, and with so little separation, this game can be drastically changed on just one or two plays.
The ISO resulting in a yard. It's going to be 2nd and 9. Harrison, 7 carries for 16 yards, 2.3 yards a clip. Not off to the fastest of starts, but of course, remember, he's got that capability that he can rip off a big one at any time. Breaks the first tackle, unable to break the second, but does make a 5-yard gain there on his first catch of the day. It's going to be 3rd and approachable now, thanks to that 5-yard catch. Penn State coming out in the empty tray. We got a stick and nod here. We'll see what the defense does to cover it and which one they give to him. He takes the underneath route. That was the one that was there. Gets the yards after the catch. A good read there by Harrison, the quarterback, and by de facto, Coach Ninja. Nice passing play there. Gets the first down out towards the midfield stripe. And Penn State's moving. Howell tackled on the flat for 2-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd and 8. Good pitch there as he was getting tackled. Harrison gets the ball back to Carter. It's going to be a 4-yard gain on Carter's first carry of the day. Halfway through the second quarter. 3rd and 4 now for the Nittany Lions at the midfield stripe.
So it's third down now, and they're going to need about 4.
Hickman with the catch. The impact player makes the 13-yard gain. Penn State with a big conversion there. Marching down the field to the Illinois 37-yard line. They've got a 1st and 10, a fresh pair of legs. They're looking to give a couple of fresh pairs of legs to their offensive line. They're going to take their time here on this play, it looks like. Kind of bask in the glow there of that big conversion.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 37-yard line.
The option up the gut to Carter gets a 9-yard gain. His second carry up to 13 yards, 6.5 yards a clip there on his first 2 carries. And out of the backfield, Carter again, 7 yards. He's all over the field right now.
the ninth play of this drive.
Penn State at the shotgun set, single back formation. Strong side right with a halfback to the weak. Wide open tight end Robinson. 18-yard gain, his third catch for 64 yards. The big play man of the Penn State offense today so far. Touchdown by the Nittany Lions ties the game up 2 minutes before the half. They're looking at their depth chart here. Hickman, the star of the group there. You saw him just make a clutch conversion on a third down play on that last drive, setting up Penn State into the red zone, which they were able to convert and tie this ball game now with 2 minutes remaining before the half. Penn State did start with the ball, so Illinois is going to get the ball to start the second. You know the Nittany Lions would love to get a stop here. Maybe turn this thing into some points real quick and go into the half with a lead.
Well, they got the result you always want on the last drive. Let's see what happens again.
I think the defense right now is just sitting back on their heels. They're allowing the offense to kind of dictate things. There's one thing is that any defensive
Coach Ninja playing the run is correct.
take things to the offense. So change it up. Try something different. If it's not working, you can't continue to sit back on your heels.
2 minutes to go in the half.
Twin tailbacks. Back to pass is Illinois. He's going to have to scramble. He can't get away.
Not only did they give up a sack,
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. Another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, thought I got to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
He heaves it deep.
You saw Coach Ninja on the play prior calling a timeout after that sack, preserving some clock. He's going to get some more clock because that was an incompletion. That clock is stuck at 1:48, and they're going to get the ball back with 1:40 plus. And 2 timeouts, exactly what the doctor ordered. Penn State looking to go on top here into the locker room. A couple of broken tackles. Hawkins able to eke out a 17-yard gain. Twisting and turning through traffic to the 47-yard line of the Illini. 1:38, 2 timeouts, left hash.
This is the point in the game where you don't want to make any mistakes that give the other guys a reason to feel more confident going into halftime.
Gets Howell, the freshman phenom, on an 8-yard catch. Short of the first, though. The clock's going to be moving. 1:28, 1:27, 1:26. Second short, but that doesn't matter. Couple extra seconds audibling at the line. It works out for the first down, 4 yards. And Penn State's going to be able to stop the clock momentarily here while the referee resets the football. They go to the huddle briefly and come out with a shotgun set. .106 and counting from the 35-yard line. Penn State with 4 wide receivers and a tight end. Huge gain to Hickman down inside the 10-yard line. And they can stop worrying about the clock because they've got all the time in the world now. 54 seconds. And the clock's going to be moving. And now, with Illinois having 2 timeouts, you look for Penn State to melt a little bit of this clock away so that Illinois doesn't have a chance to get any points themselves. Nice 4-yard gain on the first play from 1st and goal. 2nd goal now from the 5. 38 seconds left. Right hash mark.
It's 2nd and goal. Ball on the 5-yard line. Touchdown, Nittany Lions.
A big touchdown there by the Penn State Nittany Lions just before the half, just what they were hoping for, just what we were talking about. Now, 1st and 10 for Illinois. 35 seconds left, 2 timeouts. Let's see what they can do. But Penn State's going to know exactly what they're looking to do.
In a game that's this close, you can't afford to waste possessions. The quarterback in the gun, empty backfield, 5 wide receivers in the formation.
Manages to get the ball away. He was almost hoping, wishing that he didn't, because that could have been picked off there on the right side of the screen, and that would have been massive. Massive for Penn State. Get a turnover and some quick points there themselves. Back-to-back scores inside of a minute would have been devastating.
Ball on the 25-yard line.
Running the screen pass off to the left side. They don't get the blocks. They don't get the broken tackles. They don't stay in bounds. That's going to preserve even more time on the clock. And now Penn State might be looking to steal a field goal here. They've got time to do it. If they can get a quick stop, get the timeout, they're going to have a chance to get the ball back again with maybe 15, maybe 20 seconds left after the punt. We'll look to see what they're able to do here on 3rd and long. They do get the stop short of the 1st down. They are going to get the punt. Not a whole lot of time and no timeouts, but if they can get one completion, they might be able to steal a long field goal here right before the half. Well, you can look at it this way. A 7-yard return really only takes an extra second off the clock. That may mean something if they get out of bounds with a second left on this play. So that's the bright side of that. The price of 10 yards is high. You want 40 right now. That's going to be the half. 21-14. Penn State goes in with the lead just like they hoped. Illinois is going to come out in the second half with the ball.
A little bit of momentum from that side.
Penn State with the lead at home. And a great first half.
can catch our breath at halftime along with these two offenses. What a showing in the first half. 21-14, Nittany Lions.
Hi, everybody. Glad to have you with us on the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Chris Davis, David Pollack here in the studio as always to lend a little perspective to what just went down in the first 30 minutes. Perhaps the most important statistic in any football game is turnover margin. I once had a wise coach tell me that the football was so important they named the game after it. Whatever that means. I think it means that you're not supposed to let it get away from you and give it to the other team, and so far both of these offenses have done a great job of that.
No doubt, and most games are lost, not won, and it's because of the turnover differential. And you can look at the stats when you say that every time.
You see, there are 173 yards passing for Penn State. A little bit out of character for the Nittany Lions, but they've been highly successful with that today. 10 minutes on the time of possession. And Illinois getting 56 yards on the ground. That's going to be hard to keep up here in the second half. It's going to be difficult for Illinois to get to 100 yards rushing.
They keep doing the no huddle. My guys don't have the endurance.
Yeah, chew on that in the second half. Here's the second half for you to chew on with Brad and Kirk.
Which you knew, which is why you used the no huddle against me.
Welcome back, everybody. Second half action about to begin. Excellent kick. Excellent kick.
Because I was changing the 3-3-5 formation every time.
This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback.
I've learned to do that, in the no huddle.
We're going to open the first stanza of the third quarter here.
Easily overcome, sure. But they have to be thinking if they don't get something going on this series, the burden is going to be felt by their defense.
Incomplete, 2nd and 10. Singletary in the vicinity, but Hutchinson just playing off target on that throw.
From their own 25-yard line. Second down.
Out to the sideline, Bradley close to the first down. It's going to be 3rd and short. Illinois with the no huddle. They get the first down, keep this drive going. There won't be a 3 and out on this drive.
And
3-3-5 by Penn State, putting some pressure on in the pocket. Illinois had to get rid of it quickly. Doesn't get much on that. Running the screen to the right side. James with the catch. Tackled immediately. 0 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd and long. A little bit of misfitting play design there. I suppose Illinois expected the player to break 4 tackles and convert that first down. They threw it well short of the yard marker, and they're going to have to give up possession here to the Nittany Lions. 5 minutes and 3. Oh, another fake. It's the second time they've run the fake. They get the catch. They don't get the yardage. And Penn State's going to take over. A huge error in judgment by Illinois, going for the aggressive fake punt. They've gotten one to work earlier. Probably a little too risky there, hoping to get 2. Penn State was ready for it.
Penn State
They're going to take over an excellent field position with the lead. Harrison up the gut for a solid 3.
From the 42-yard line. Second down.
Twin tight end set. Penn State looking to give their players a little bit of time, a little bit of R&R here. A few seconds off the clock. It's going to be a first down. Harrison falls forward / backward / forwards again. Rumbles, bumbles, stumbles forward for an extra few yards. Down to the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. Nittany Lions.
From the 33-yard line. First down.
The Z spot out of the twin tight end set incomplete there. Hit as he threw. Tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd and 10. As Penn State looking to put some points on the board here. Take a 2-score lead in this ballgame. Coming out in the Y trips. Shotgun set here on 2nd and long. Hickman with the catch, falls forward, 9-yard gain. Going to be 3rd and just a yard. Down to the 24-yard line.
Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 1. Penn State up 7 points.
Takes the short play, but gets the full play. When you start blitzing multiple defensive backs, more than one, and you're bringing 6 guys, or you're bringing at least 2 guys out of coverage on blitzes, you're really asking a lot of your safeties to come down in man coverage. That's a lot of ground to cover. You saw they were trying to play man on that receiver from about 15 yards away. That's what happens when you get caught in a misalignment on defense. That's why a lot of your online commentators talk about base aligning before the snap a lot of times. The AI, of course, unable to do that, came out misaligned on defense, and Penn State took full advantage on a blown coverage there by the Illini. A dagger through the heart to take a 28-14 lead here halfway through the 3rd quarter, and Illinois has got to score on this drive. Third and inches. And the shotgun set for Illinois. Halfback takes it, but he doesn't get forward. It's going to be 4th and 1, a stop. They're claiming they're coming out in the punt formation.
Is back deep towards
Another fake, this time a run. And again, they don't get it there. 1 out of 3 on fourth down attempts
I got lucky there because
out of the fake set. 3 fake punt calls by Illinois. Very aggressive play calling. And again, Penn State finding themselves already in Illinois territory as they begin the drive.
This offensive coordinator's got to be feeling so good about the execution he's seeing from his quarterback and his wide receiver. Because again, they put so much time in trying to put a plan.
Read option out to the right side. Williams cuts it back inside. 4-yard gain sets up second mid-range. All options available here for the Nittany Lions.
It's second down, 6 to go. Ball on the 42.
Halfback out of the backfield. Tight coverage. Limits him to a 5-yard gain. Sets him up for 3rd and short. That's about the best they could have hoped for out of that play, and a lot of worse things could have happened there.
They spread the field in the gun with 5 wide receivers.
Gets the first down just before going out of bounds. 2-yard gain, but that's plenty right there. That's going to set up first down. Penn State moving, full momentum, 2-score lead, full control of the third quarter here. Came out firing out of the locker room. Don't know what the coach told them at halftime, but they've been playing their butts off.
First and 10. Ball on the 36.
Coach Ninja out in the shotgun set again, hands it off up the gut, but he's stuffed. 2-yard loss, second and long here. 1:13 left in the third quarter. Penn State's got all the time in the world.
Create some momentum possibly for this defense.
Runs the angle route, waits a little bit longer. He was covered if he threw it earlier. Able to break free further downfield. A first down for the Nittany Lions at the 25-yard line. They are knocking on the door once again. Coming out in the spread set. That's what's been working for them today. They enjoy that double tight end set, and they've had a couple of successful plays, but much of the yardage today has come out of shotgun sets, whether it be wide trips, halfback offset weak, some of your shotgun spread sets with 4 wide receivers, and of course the 5 wide sets as well. When Penn State has spread them out, their athleticism has been superior to the Fighting Illini's players.
It's first and 10. Ball on the 11.
Quick hitting pass to Cole Robinson, superstar tight end. 6-yard catch. He's got 6 catches for 87 yards on the day. As Williams, 22 out of 24. The read option, a little bit extra traffic there, holds him up short. That's going to be the end of the third quarter.
Debate on what's happening in Bloomington. Let's take a look at this one again. And for Minnesota,
Penn State punching the ball into the end zone again, takes the 21-point lead in complete control following a couple of failed fake punts by the Fighting Illini, following defensive stops by the Nittany Lions. Penn State's defense taking control and the offense doing its job, being able to take the ball and down the field the extra 40 yards and score. They're assisted by the defense cutting those drives in half, the necessary yardage, but the offense is well executing.
Swagger, whatever you want to call it, when they take the field, they know they're better than you. And as a group of 11, they play like they know they're going to stop you.
And here we go with the offense ready to get things going again.
A delayed handoff to the fullback off the gut by Illinois. Finds nowhere to go. He's got 10 for 68. But he had 9 for 68 before that play. Almost picked off. Penn State's defense in the grill of the Illinois receiver. Setting up 3rd and long. Defensive line unable to get there. Penn State gives up the first down. But I'll tell you what, Illinois needed a lot more of this last quarter. They have found themselves in a deep hole.
Makes the catch and the defense is all over him. They bring him down for a loss.
And you see Hutchinson, the quarterback for Illinois, you see his numbers there, 18 out of 22. But he's only got 100 and some yards. He's throwing the ball really short, and he's gotten the completions. But at some point, you've got to hit a couple of pops on that defense. It's all well and good to play it safe and get a lot of completions and be high percentage short passing. But if you're not getting chunks, you're asking a lot of your execution. Illinois using the Wildcat. A variation thereof. 2 quarterbacks out there on the field, pulling out all the stops, trying to move the football. We'll see if they line up. No, that this time they're being honest about it. If they'd been honest about it the last couple of times and just brought out the regular offense, maybe they would have converted a couple of those short yardage 4th downs that they were unable to on those fake punts. Lines up tight and then throws and then scrambles, but unable to get away. Hutchinson down for the sack. The Nittany Lions coming up big again on defense.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
This drive is going to create an almost insurmountable lead. This defense has really got to step it up and make a stop.
Penn State content to run it down the throat of the Illini. Tick, 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 tick. Complete to Robinson at the 10, the 5, touchdown, Penn State.
What were you saying about running the ball?
42-14, Penn State. Huge, monstrous lead here in the second half. They've outscored the Illini 21-0. And to answer your question, Leon, this is not necessarily unusually aggressive. The fourth quarter, they will go for fourth down if trailing, no matter what. Unless they're inside maybe their own 35-ish, maybe inside their own 40. They were about near midfield, and it was fourth down, and they were trailing, obviously, in the fourth quarter. Now, the third quarter fake punt attempts, those were particularly aggressive. That was outside of the norm on the edge of the spectrum, really. There are aggression settings for coaches, and when users create their head coaches, they're able to alter those sliders on the aggression level of their coaches so that if they are to sim their games, the computer will know how they want their play calling to be represented in their absence. But those sliders exist for the computer coaches as well. Of course, you can't change them in online dynasties while the online dynasty is going on. But in offline dynasties, you can alter the computer coaches, the individual computer coaches' aggression sliders for each school as well. Online dynasty, a lot of those controls are taken out of your hands, which of course just removes any conspiracy theorists. When you're dealing with strangers, you have a lot more accusations of unfair play. Another stop there by the Nittany Lions defense sets them up with a 4th and 1 at the midfield stripe. 3 minutes and 51 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Penn State looking to close this one out with a defensive stop here. Illinois unable to find the red zone here in the second half thus far. Struggling to move the ball on offense. And again, perfect example right there. The receiver could have made the catch. It was tight coverage. There was 2 defenders there, but it was mathematically possible, certainly. He had a step on the defender. He should make that catch. He needs to make that catch if they wanted to forge some kind of a miracle comeback. At this point, though, way too high of a mountain to climb. Penn State has just completely taken advantage of overtly aggressive play calling by Illinois. Those 2 fake punt attempts in the third quarter, those 2 failed fake punt attempts, devastating. Obviously, if they'd converted them, different story. Hindsight's 2020. A good coaching call is directly dependent on its success or failure. Penn State taking a look at some stats. They've got some recruits in town today. They've gotten the 100 yards receiving for Robinson. They need 44 yards more rushing for their halfback if they want to impress some recruits in the stands and in the boxes today, in the luxury boxes.
I need 44 more yards rushing.
They need about 3 yards to get the first here on second down. Penn State looking to put this game away if they score here. They bring him down in the backfield.
Carter gets a loss of 2. He's stuck in the backfield. It's going to be 3rd and 5. Penn State works backwards on that play. After a quarter and a half of high-octane offense, looking to execute here and get a few yards on the ground. They're going to need to convert here first. Robinson with the catch does get the conversion. 1st and 10 inside the 30-yard line. 143 yards for the tight end today. 99 overall. No doubt one of those rare generational tight end talents that the NFL is going to be taking a look at in this year's draft. Monstrous run, the perfect pitch to Carter. Perfectly timed, perfectly run by Coach Ninja. That is another Penn State touchdown. 49-14. 28-0 here in the second half. Penn State running away with it. What was a tight game in the first two quarters. Remember, Penn State scored to take the lead just before the half. So they have really poured it on here in the third and fourth quarters. Almost gets the pick six. Would have been salt in the wound, a twist of the knife. Illinois 2 of 9 on third down today. Part of the problem right there. They do get that one, but of course it's a little too late. Operating out of the no huddle, gets the first down. Penn State going to reset things here on defense using the timeout. A little bit of extra rest for their personnel and putting an end to that no huddle run. Getting themselves into a different set on defense. Finds some space out there at the right sideline. Gets the first down. And Illinois keeps the drive alive in a hopeless attempt to make this thing look a little bit better than it does right now. All the time in the world. Second and midway. So you have to start thinking towards Penn State's schedule. Following this game, they're going to have a game next week, a user game, facing off against Jim Law and the Purdue Boilermakers. One of our user coaches, head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers. They're going to host the Nittany Lions in a user game next week. That'll be an exciting stream here on this Twitch channel. Don't forget to follow to get all those updates. We do broadcast weekly here in Season 10 of League 1. We've been going at this for a little while. We've gotten some history developed and a few storylines developed as well. Penn State's going to move to 2-2. They're ranked 25th. They'll look to move up a little bit in the polls, a couple of spots. They're off to a nice start here in Big Ten play. The opening game of the conference will see them move to 1-0. It's a non-divisional game, an East versus West division. You remember that the conference play usually begins mostly with non-divisional games before moving into divisional games late season. So Penn State not into the nitty-gritty of it yet by any means. However, this game will go a long way towards trying to win the Big Ten title for the second year in a row. Desperation catch for 39 yards. But you and I are well aware of what that score means, which is a whole lot of very little bit. Gosh, you know, it sounds so different when they talk about a 12-play, 75-yard drive, but 39 of it was on that last play. Here with the onside kick recovered by Penn State. And they may have the gumption to say, you know what, Illinois, if you're going to keep trying, we're going to keep trying.
Well, actually, we're going to keep trying to get runs.
less than a minute to go.
The option up the gut gets 14 yards, and Penn State's now run for 100 yards. That's going to impress the recruits in the boxes today. They got a lineman prospect, and he's wanting to make sure that they don't forget about the run game, which is funny because they normally are all about the run game. Today was an exhibition in passing, an aerial attack, an onslaught on the Illinois defense, brought about by excellent field position in the second half, thanks to some aggressive play calling by the Illinois head coach. As the final seconds tick off, Penn State just inside of 50 points, just outside the goal line.
I'm really impressed with their ball control.
Watch out for a pass play when you're in a goal line D.
Touchdown, James Williams. Touchdown, Penn State. 55-21, awaiting the extra point. And as we were saying, Penn State's going to move to 2-2, 1-0 in the conference. Hey, an emphatic statement to the rest of the Big Ten that they are well prepared for conference play. Next week, of course, we'll have the user game, most likely on Friday night, combined with Washington State's game as well. As we wrap this up, we thank you guys for joining us for this broadcast. Once again, hit that follow button so that you can catch the update that we will issue on next week's games. That user game for Coach Ninja and Coach Barker is going to be something to watch. User games, of course, offering a whole other complexity. We try to make the sliders and the artificial intelligence as difficult as possible. We give no love to the user here. All of our sliders are set up to be enormously difficult. Penn State, of course, able to overcome those today. And they're going to walk out of here with a 35-point win. That wraps it up here from Happy Valley. Some new shotgun plays integrated into Penn State's playbook, spreading the field out, making them a little bit more explosive today on offense. We'll look to see if they're able to continue that next week as they take on Coach Jim Law, user Arbark, in that Big Ten game. Penn State visiting the Purdue Boilermakers. That'll be one part of the doubleheader next week, as number 1 Washington State will take the field as well. Doubleheader action next week in League 1 play. We thank you for joining us. We appreciate the comments, the likes, the follows.
Went from 86 126 to 127 on that final drive.
300 yards passing for Penn State. And they held Illinois to 84 yards on the ground. Didn't turn the ball over once. And I'm sure that Illinois' third down percentage was a low one. That does it for this broadcast. We look forward to seeing you next week.